It's Coffee with B&B.
B&B, Brittany. Hi.
And I'm Venus.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to choose a new topic to chat about today.
Yes, we are. Our handy dandy.
Our shaker box.
Okay. Oh, what types of roles would you decline?
Excellent question. And I think we both probably declined roles, right? I have.
Yeah, auditions. I've
Oh,
declined.
Yeah, some that I would decline. So I'm married and I love my husband and I respect my marriage and cherish it. So I really don't ever want to kiss another dude. I don't want to be cuddled by a dude. I don't want to, I just don't want to do any kind of physically intimate role. So I would decline those.
Yeah. That's good.
I have more, but I'll let you.
Yeah.
Say yours.
I am also married. So it was important to me that like my husband and I kind of sit down and talk about the boundaries and what we're comfortable with together. So for me, yeah, it would be, I mean, there ain't going to be no sex scenes or any nudity. And depending on what it is, you know, like I would be comfortable with like holding hands and for me, it would depend too on like, are they married? You know, like what kind of message is that sending? So things like that. You know, if it was a married scene and they were like sitting together on the couch close, like I would be okay with that. But you know, not much further than that. I'm not comfortable with. You know, I remember when I was 12 or 13 years old, I got this job and they told my mom, because everything, you know, went through my mom at that point in time because I was so young, and they wanted me to be in bra and underwear.
Oh.
Yeah, at like 13 years old. And my mom was like, no way is my daughter doing that. And they just looked at her like she was crazy, and they were like, well, why not? It's just like a bathing suit.
That's what my mother always says about wearing a bikini.
It's like a bikini.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, but it's not.
Right.
It's a bra and underwear, and my daughter will not be doing that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't even remember that instance until now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, my mom declined it, and we didn't do it.
Good.
And that's actually around the time that I got out of acting for an amount of time, just because more and more the things that they were wanting me to do were things that we were not comfortable with and weren't willing to do.
Another thing that I'm not comfortable doing, I don't cuss on a regular basis. Admittedly, if I'm super angry, I do. But I prefer not to cuss in a film. And I know that there are a lot of characters that it's part of their character or part of the story or something. And so I understand when writers write that it's part of that. But I make it a point, and I've done this in acting class too, where I've said, just so you know, I don't cuss, so are you okay with me changing this word to whatever? Or in class, I've told, you know, the teacher, like, if I'm going to join, I just want you to know that I'm not comfortable doing kissing scenes or scenes with dudes, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't want to use disgusting language or anything like that. And so I tell them up front, if that's not okay with you, just let me know, because then I wouldn't take their class. But yeah, that's another thing I don't want to do. And I remember my very first feature film that I did, there was like this one line where I'd say, those little beep, and they wanted me to say that. And I'm like, I could, you know, I used to cuss all the time. It's not that big a deal, but if I compromise this one thing, how many times will I compromise the next seemingly small and the next seemingly small? And so thankfully,
it gets easier and easier, and you get further and further away from what you committed to being a boundary.
And so one of the guys was really wanting me to say it, and then the other guy understood why I didn't want to, and they're like, it's just a word, and you know, whatever. So the way it actually finished was, I say those little, and then they cut to my mom saying the same beep, and she starts going off on her, and so like they edited it for me, and that was so nice because I didn't have to. I mean, I kind of felt bad arguing. I wasn't arguing, but discussing this while we're filming. You know, I'm delaying the shoot or whatever, but I felt convicted. I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to start off my career doing that. So it was actually a really good starting point for me to be like, okay, this is what happens when you stand up for yourself and you are going to face things like this, and how are you going to handle it? And so it was just like, I was just really grateful for that experience, because I feel like it strengthened me for future things. And now I'm like, if you're absolutely adamant about me cussing through this scene, that's okay. There are many other actors that will take that role. I'm not going to.
Yeah. Thinking back to recently, I did a self-tape audition for a feature film, and the part of the script, you know, it was like, I think it was 6 pages, and it was fine. Like, there was nothing really in the script that made me think, oh, you know, this is probably not something I should do. But there was one little thing in it where I flirt with my boss or something. And it just kind of got me to thinking, I mean, and it wasn't even a big deal. Like, it was something like they make eyes, and it was something implied.
Yeah.
And I just kind of thought, gee, I wonder where they're going to take this story. You know, and especially considering that it's a film, so it's longer, they're going to develop it, and it's not just a, you know, 45-second commercial.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, ooh, you know, and I kind of again found myself thinking like, oh, I hope I don't get this one, because, you know, girls our age, unfortunately, that's a lot of the stuff that's out there for us, is, you know, stuff with, like, you know, sexual content. Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I was kind of like, ooh, I just don't know where they're going to go with this. And, you know, if I'll be willing to do, I mean, if they went where I thought they were going, I wouldn't be doing it. So, and I love how you were saying that, you know, you go into a class letting the teacher know from the get-go, these are the things you're not willing to do. These are the things you won't compromise on.
Right.
Because I feel like it's just better to go into it saying that from the very beginning.
It is.
To avoid a situation where then you're like, oh yeah, by the way.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, you know, why didn't you tell me that from the beginning?
Yeah.
And I think we talked about that in another video. Just, you know, even with your agents, just being upfront and honest and just telling them ahead of time what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, so that you don't put yourself or them in an awkward situation or make anyone look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is for this video or maybe another one, but I have a friend who started a class. She didn't tell the coach what she wasn't willing to do, so the teacher actually gave her a scene that wanted her to make orgasmic sounds. And so it was like, oh, are you going to do it? Because I don't know where she stands. You know, we're Christians, but we're all different in what we'll do and what we want. She's like, well, I really don't want to. So the next time I caught up with her, she said she did it. And she said that it was actually freeing, that she felt like she grew from it and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm glad, you know, you grew from it. I personally wouldn't do that. I don't want everyone in class knowing how I sound in the bedroom. Like, that's just a little bit, I think, unnecessary and too much. So, but she did that. And then I had another friend who was told by the coach that she's just going to have to get over that if she wants to make it in this industry. And I'm like, no, you don't. You actually just don't need to have her as a coach if that's how she feels, because she should be respectful of your boundaries. We're not all the same person. Yeah. So. And
unfortunately, I hear that all the time. People in the industry telling actors, if you want to make it, you have to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't. It's your choice. You can say no.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can be particular about the roles that you go and audition for, and
and it's okay. I mean, you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be snotty, but let it be known that you're different. You stand for something. Your morals are different, and that's okay. That's who we are as Christ followers. We should look different from the norm.
Yeah, so absolutely. And it's just, I want to represent Christ in the best way I can. You know, and I don't want to do anything in my acting that would, you know, dishonor him.
Right.
You know, I just would never want to do that.
Yeah. I think, too, a lot of actors, and that's fine, this is their thing, they're like, it's just acting, it's pretend, it's fake. And I'm like, well, it may be fake to you, but your wife seeing you kiss another girl, it's not fake to her. It's still very much real life, even though it's called acting. So that's kind of something I keep in mind. Like, it may be acting in a film to me, but when I'm kissing another dude, it's very much real life to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of think of that. And I don't know if that maybe helps or doesn't help someone choose what path they want to do, but and God's going to honor that. God is going to honor your choices when you are living for Him and doing your best to do His will for you. And yeah, so don't be afraid to say no to things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know if y'all have questions on anything.
Yeah, we hope this
As
was
always.
helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Till next time.
See y'all.